Hey everybody. So I'm trying something today. I don't know if anybody will join in or not, but let's see what we're going to do. What I'm doing is I'm actually working on the blade. You can see it in the background behind me there on the uh, fiber laser. And so what I'm trying to do, get switched over to that camera over there. Hit the right button. So you'll notice I've already done a clean pass now. I can't reach all the way out to the outer edges right now because the size of the lens I have. So it's not going to get to the outer edges, but I have cleaned it. And you'll notice I'm putting a blue across it. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to put some blue in it, and then I'm going to turn around and try to put black on top of it and see how that comes out. Hey, Chuck, how are you today? So let's come back over here. Well, still learning this. So let me call up my. So my hope is that hey, how are you today? Window open. All right. So this is what I hope. I hope you can see it. I had a problem with it. Can you guys see my layout or my light burn layout now? Happy Father's Day to you guys as well. So this is what I hope to do, if you guys can actually see it, is I hope to put this over top of that blue, and maybe that'll stand out. And if it doesn't come out to black, we may change it over and try to do it to go back to a clean pass when we get to that part as well. So just let me know if you saw that shared screen. What's everybody doing for Father's Day today? So far, liking how that blue's coming out. Let me go over here and look at it. Took you out to eat. Did we eat something good? We have steaks and all that kind of stuff. Mrs. Claus and I went out and ate some breakfast this morning, and then did a little flea market, and then did a few thrift stores before we came back in. So she's inside painting her nails or something, is what she said, and I'm out here in the shop messing around with some of this stuff. So. What have you guys been working on here lately? Anything exciting in your shop? Steak and loaded mashed potato. Well, I must have missed the invite. Sounded like a good day so far. So. I'm sure everybody's enjoying their Father's Day today. I don't know what your weather is there, but it's a hot day here, but it's a pretty day. So I did when I did get home. I worked on I built a new roof for the dog house. They didn't mention that it was rotten in one corner, so I went to pick it up the other day, and that little corner fell apart. So I had to build them a new one. So I had to do some cleaning up on that. But other than that, working on some door hangers for the Fall Fest. I see. Yeah, I've got as some of you probably know, when we moved Mom here, it kind of messed everything up as far as me getting everything working. Craft show and farmers market and that kind of thing. So I'm having to get caught back up. Got caught on this little adventure right now to see how that comes out. But I'm hoping this coming week to actually really get in and start getting back to making some of the stuff that you're talking about there, Ed. And I hope to make some more of these. We actually were out looking a while ago and couldn't find a blade anywhere. And there was one place at the flea market that I figured, as they are in almost all flea markets, there's that one area that's got 10,000 tools and doesn't know what everything is. So I went in there and went through, and there wasn't a single saw blade in there. So I might have to find me a few saw blades to pick up from somebody, but I don't know who I'll do that from yet. I'm going to go back over here. Hey, Jack. Nice to see you in here. Flip it back over so everybody can kind of see what I'm trying to do. So I took Sawblade and cleaned it as far as I could, and then I defocused it a whole centimeter. And when I defocused it that much, it's putting a blue on it now. When I get done with the blue, I'll pick it up and show you how light it's not extremely light, but if I mess with it a little more, I could probably get a little bit darker, but this is going to be the first time I try it. So, well, we'll have to see if the letter's in the mail, Jack. You know, the elves usually get it before I do, so we'll see what. And how much did you say? I think you said you were going to get a 90 watt. Is that correct? How much longer we got here? So if you just got in here, I'll flip back over and show you what I'm going to attempt to do. Do you already have the power control for the 90 watt, or are you changing it out as well? Yeah. So can you guys see the shared screen here on my Lightburn? I had a problem with it the last time. I want to make sure I'm getting it correct this time as we go further along. Tube and power supply. Yeah. But basically all I'm doing is I'm making that blue. And then if you guys can see this, I'm just going to take this very basic face and put on top of it. All I can see is the laser. Okay, let me try something here then. I think that's where I messed up the last time. Hold on. Yeah, I need to add it to the stage. There we go. Thank you, Jack. So, got another step in there. You can't just share it. So basically, this is the clock face that I'm going to put in over top of that blue that's printing over here right now. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it first as black. I'm going to go back to regular focus. Well, no, I'm going to try this back to the clean pass. Just for this area and see how that looks, and then maybe I might turn that one over if I don't like it, and clean the other side, and then run it as a black one. Like I said, I'm just kind of playing with it, see what I can come up with. So far, I've got black pretty well figured out, and it looks like at least I have some hint of blue. Yeah, the one thing I still need to figure out, Jack, I think you said you use OBS, because that's the one thing that I've got to. If I can figure that out, I can switch between the cameras. The problem is that camera you see behind me is a Elegoo face cam, and the one that I'm facing right now is the same thing. And for whatever reason, when I put them both in the OSB or OBS, they will not both show up. One goes off. I can't get them both to work where I could switch them back and forth in order to use them in StreamYard. So still trying to figure that one out. Do you have any trouble with it, Jack? No. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, and you've been doing it longer than I have too. So let's see. We probably got another 10, 12 minutes of that turning blue. How's your Father's Day, Jack? Happy Father's Day. Hello, traders, Trade Skills Anonymous. How are you today? Happy Father's Day to you as well. So you got 5 cameras in yours and 3 of them are the same. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm not doing correctly. I know you can go in and I'd have to look. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but I think part of it's source, and then you have to bring it in and um, all that kind of stuff. But I can show it. I can show 2 in one part, but when I try to transfer it to the second part of it, it just doesn't work. So I'll figure it out eventually. But for right now, I'm going to have to keep doing StreamYard the hard way. So 3.0. I've got USB 3.0 right now. So, Trade Skillers, did you enjoy your Father's Day? Do anything fun and exciting? I see Jack said he's just messing around in the shop. They are 1080 cameras, I believe, Jack. Yeah, they're 1080. These were 2 cameras that Clack had recommended, and the microphone that I use is one that he recommended. So it's all Elgato, which it has its own little program that you can use to zoom in and out and things like that. But I don't think I can use it necessarily for StreamYard. I haven't tried that yet, to be honest with you, because everybody was talking about the OBS. Got all 3 printers cooking. The bolt just finished and panels. Well, yeah, it's not so much a bottleneck that it's causing one to go off and the other to come on. It's more a fact of when I turn them both on, I can see them in one part of that OBS, and then when you transfer it over to where it'll actually show like this does in StreamYard, it goes away. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. Too hot to work in there. So, well, that's why I have the lasers in my shop here, and then the 3D printers actually in my office upstairs, because I've not figured out a good way to totally control the humidity, but I did. I did finally buy one of those little things you see that's got the temperature and the barometer and the humidity. So I've got it hanging up in here, so I can start really figuring out what the humidity level is in here most of the time. Excuse me. So. So what are we printing, Trader Skills? What you gonna run on your fiber there, Jack? Oh, that's right. You said that up above there, SCADA accessories. It looks like roll over here and see what this looks like a little better. Well, we'll have a look, as you can probably see in that corner up there, as it's getting up towards the other side, it's got a little bit of beigeish tan in there. Got a plasma cut handsaw sold. Engraving retirement information. That sounds like fun. Seems more straightforward. So you like that octagon shape better, I would assume, than just a square, which I guess in a way it probably does give you a little more room. You're becoming an light box guru since you got that U1 there, Jack. Yeah. Yeah, they ever come out with a really fast multi-material similar to the U1, we'll all have to have one of those. I was talking to somebody today when we were at the flea market. He had some of his 3D stuff up, and we were talking a little bit about the various ones, and they were talking about the U1 versus the Flash Forge. The Flash Forge being a bigger company, you might be able to get if you had to have a part for it or something, that was what he ended up looking for. The Creator 5 is what he's going to end up doing. So I thought that was kind of a valid point, because I know Snapmaker's been around for a while as well, but and I don't know, don't quote me on what size is what, but it just seems like that would be something that you maybe wanted to consider if you're looking into them. I'm still fighting back and forth. Jack keeps putting this stuff up about the U1, and it looks really, really good. And then I turn around and see the Creator 5, and I like that. But I'll be honest, my only drawback on the Creator 5 right now is the fact that it takes and purges beside the bed, and it's enough mess already. So, well, what I'm doing is I am taking I'll flip back over there. It's an actual saw blade right now, and I don't have a lens big enough to clean the whole thing up, so that's why you see the rust around the edges. So you can see up above it, right where the laser's at now, cleaned it off pretty good. And then I went back and I defocused the centimeter. And what that did is it gave me pretty much blue color, which, like I said, if you look at it right now, you can see that I've got looks like some tan and maybe a little darker color towards the top side, or towards the right-hand side there on the screen. So we'll look at it in a minute, but what I want to do is, once I get that done, is what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go and over here. Let's see if we can do it right this time. Got to call it up. Yeah. Clear that. Hey, look at there. Practice makes perfect. So then what I want to do is I want to take and put this face over top of it. And what I want to do with that face, I think the first time I'm just going to do it as a cleaning pass. So you'll have the blue, and then you'll have the actual silver color of the blade itself. The other thing I want to try to do is I want to learn, or not learn, but I've got to figure out where my settings are to make like a white color. And I've already got the black and the blue. And I was messing around the other day with the red just a little bit. But if you've messed with any kind of, carbon steel at all, well, let me back up. All steel in general, it's going to be hard to regulate that color all the time, as you saw on the blade that's already sitting on there. So I'm going to play with it, try to get it as good as I can, but I'd like to try to put some color on these. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. Yeah, the Creator 5 small plate build. Yeah, it's smaller, but and I think that's why I keep arguing with myself because I see the size of that U1 and I like that size because my AD5X is smaller than most others are anyway. But next month I'll probably pull the trigger on one or the other, and I'll be honest, I'm probably looking more towards the U1 ultimately. So tried some true flat plywood for the first time last night on the boat. The name is true. Yeah, yeah. But when you tried it, how much soot did you get? Because the very first time I tried it, I was like, "This is insane." And it wasn't so much that the top and the bottom had the soot on it. It was when I grabbed it and when I let go, it was all over my hands. I'm like, "Geez." So I'm still playing with true flat. I have some here. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I still have some down here right now that I'm messing with. But I have. It makes beautiful stuff. Don't get me wrong, but to justify its cost, you've got to really understand what you're gonna be making. So. Yeah, if you were at that slow of a speed in 90%, um, you probably need to check your lenses and clean them as well. So this is almost done. Yeah. Go over here and get this. Huh, interesting. So over here, I don't know how well this will show, but this kind of it's not too bad. So I've got a little bit of all kinds of colors in there. You can see some browns and some little bit of clear and okay, trade skillers. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. So we started out with some blue. We got some tan and some dark brown in there, and then so kind of interesting. We'll put it back on here and figure out what we're going to do next. I think I'm just going to do like I did or said I was going to. See how it works. So we'll go in here and that was, I don't know if many of you saw, but this was the clock. As some of you may know, Crafty Creations gave me the first one, and this one I just grabbed off Etsy. I used that, so that was the first clock. So I have both of those clocks now hung up in here. Let's frame this right quick. Is the bounce. And I did it wrong again. Okay. So we will stop sharing that. And we'll switch back over to the here. And I'm framing it out now. And so we're gonna do that with the cleaning pass for 2 passes, and we'll see how it comes out. And it may take more than 2 passes. I can already tell that. So we'll see what this looks like here in just a minute. Jack, did you do anything exciting for your Father's Day, or? See what that second pass does when it comes back over. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to run another pass or 2. Yeah, I was watching the other day about the index. What is it? 8 head, I believe it is. I've been watching that some as well. So, hey, I know how to say thing. So I don't blame you. Oh yeah. Okay, so the index is on the. Okay, I got you. So, but and then I've what is that? There's a channel where they actually are building them. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I've been watching that a good bit too. I don't know if I froggy enough to actually start doing an actual build from the very beginning or not, but my engineering brain on one hand's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, let's get over here and see what this looks like. All right, I'm gonna change this over just a little bit. I'm gonna come back over here and share screen. So I think I'm gonna end up going here and I'll make that 4 passes for a total of 6. We're just cleaning up and we'll see what it looks like. And then if it doesn't work, then I may change it over to my black setting, and even though I'm defocused, and see what kind of effect we get on that. So let me start that. Like I said, this is what I'm working on. If you just pop in here. Got a groundhog in the backyard. You know, since we moved to the coast and everything, I don't see as many animals as I used to. We've had one snake that got up close to the porch, which I quickly dispatched him. If there's one thing that scares me is a snake. The other, fire service all those years and all that kind of stuff, no problem. But something about a snake just gives me the willies, and just don't like them. So, but the squirrels around here, and of course you get the ducks and that kind of stuff that fly over, geese, but few deer. But that's about it. Not as much as back when we were in the mountain area, which is understandable. So, now I do know we have some. I hadn't seen any here, but I do know we have a few gators in this area. We lived here about a year, and they put a photo up of a Walmart neighborhood market, and the gator looks like he's headed over to the market over there to get some, some alligator shoes or something like that. But it actually stopped traffic, so it was funny to see that as well. If anybody's still on here, Jack, or anybody, how about throwing that like button on there and that kind of stuff? Work on that algorithm that we all have to fight when we do these things. I think the one thing I've still got to work with too is I'm not sure that it's showing up on the Facebook page again. I've had that issue as well. So learn as you go. Let me go back over here and see how this is coming along over here now. Oh. Not terrible. I mean, it's I'm getting 50, 60, 70 views. I've got about 107 people that are following me, which is great, and I appreciate every single one of them. And if that's all I get, then that's all I get. It's part of it's, yeah, I enjoy it, and I hope to share a few things that I learned along the way. But I just like getting on here and talking with you guys as well. So that's part of the reason I do it. Still got a lot to learn. I see people's videos and how polished they are, and how much I've still got to work on mine. And that's one of the reasons I was asking about the OBS a while ago. I think that would help out some as well. So as you can see, kind of starting to come out a little bit, but And I may just leave that for now to see and flip it over and try it on the other side. But yeah, and Jack, I see that a lot of people talking about when they change the algorithms and all that kind of stuff, that on the one hand, it's supposed to help smaller YouTubers and that kind of thing. But honestly, I know a lot of people will take and, they'll watch those videos, oh, how to get this, how to get that. And I have no desire to watch that kind of stuff. If people want to see what I'm talking about, then that's great. If they don't, that's fine too. So, yeah, my shorts, especially if I do a short where I share it for 3D. 3D seems like the side that you get a lot of more views at least. So I understand that as well. We'll go back over here. We're either on pass 2 or I think we're on pass 3 now, I believe. If it gets to pass 4, we'll look at it, and then I'll probably go ahead and wrap up after that, just so I can try the other side, because it takes so long to get that color in there. But if I get it to looking good on the other side too, I may try to make that a black. And if I can make it a black, then I'll post it up for everybody to see on the other side. Oh, all right, so it's done. Let's see here. Switch cameras now. So it's got the numbers on it, and it's kind of interesting, but didn't come out quite as bright as I would like for it to. So we may redo it again, and of course you can see the holes covering up the 12 o'clock. So that's kind of what I was messing around with today. Thought I'd jump on here and show that. your pork. Hey, you should have cooked it longer if you only got 36 views on your oh, I know what it was. You said you didn't put bacon on it. That's why it only had 36 views. So yeah, that's what I like to. I like to see how other people create and what we all have our own ideas of things. And like I said, this is an experiment right now. I had taken, right here. So yesterday, when I was just messing around in here a little bit, this is what I ended up doing. And this is about the 4th time. As you can see, some of them are ghost in there. That's where I'd go back and clean them and try again to try to get these different colors. And there's some cool colors in there. That beige down at the bottom, and then this blue right there. Those came out fairly nice. So, and I've got this one spot. Yeah, right. I don't know if you can really see it right here, right there, and I can't get it. Well, you can barely see it. Down at the very bottom, you can see a little bit of red started coming in. So that's what I started, and I've got this side of this blade that I'll end up going back in and doing some more colored checking just to see. But a couple of things that it did tell me, of course, was that, and we pretty well know this, is you're not going to be consistent all the time with the color. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. Because I'll be honest, I kind of like how that kind of blends together in the different colors that are in there. I'll need to work a little bit on this as far as the actual numbers and that kind of thing. But I think the next one will be black on the other side. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's all I really had today. I just jumped on here for a few minutes. I thought somebody might find it interesting to see what I was messing around with, and maybe you get a chance to do what I'm doing. Take you a piece of carbon steel or a piece of Sawblade and run some tests on it. Just pick your different settings. One thing I still get confused with now is frequency and Q pulse, and I'm still playing with that, still learning that quite a bit. But sometimes you just get lucky and hit on it, and then you can tweak after that, which is kind of what happened on one or two of those. But I tried to be as purpose driven as I could be to see those and get that as close as I could. But hey, crap! Oh, I got a whole bunch of people jumped in here. Somehow or another, my comments got stopped here. So, hey, Crafted, see you here, and just got back in the house. How was your Father's Day for the day? Working on coins, are you? And Three Dogs is in here as well. How are you today? Yeah, my saw blade was level. And everything's pretty level right now. The one thing that, like I said, you can see how it faded some. Now I told it wrong last night when I was talking to Jeremy with HTL. He'd asked me what size, and for some reason I was thinking it was a 110 by 110, but it's actually a 150 by 150. So it doesn't quite reach out to the outer edges, and just having to wait to see. And I'm going to go ahead and order. I'm doing it this evening. I'm going to go ahead and order a 200, and then I'm also going to order a 70 by 70 because I want to try how that does on a deeper engrave. This only being a 30 watt, I'm not going to get some of the results you guys get by any means, but I think if I get that 70 by 70, it being a small coin like it is, maybe that'll help out some. So. Well, hello, Quilter. How are you? Hope everybody's had a good Father's Day that's on here now. Yeah, I've seen Patrick several of his videos, and I look at his videos a lot. He's really insightful when it comes to the fiber laser. He does a real good job of that. So, anyway, we can. And just like talking about that, Jack, I'll show you the other thing too. On this blade that I did the front of the clock on was practicing with that we was watching. You can see how that's smooth all the way across, right? And you can also see where I put my fingerprints off on it when I first cleaned it the other day. But then you look at this other blade, this fine tooth blade, and that was the one I was messing around with the different colors to see. And you can see that it's got a ridge right here. And then it's got another smaller one, which you can barely feel it right there, but it's got a little bit of a ridge. So that, not to mention, if you've ever seen anything about how steel's manufactured, it is an exact science, but it is not an exact science. And the more carbon or less carbon you have in this steels can have a big effect on how your colors come out, or even if you're just putting black on there. So, but that was pretty much it. That was all I had today. Appreciate everybody jumping on here, and like I said, I'm gonna go back over here in a little bit, and we'll run that other side just to see what I can come up with it on that side. I'm gonna try it again with the blue, and then turn around and put black on it, or try to put black on it and see how that comes out. But I hope everybody has a wonderful time this afternoon. I hope you got to spend time with your family, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, Sharon King. Everybody's hopping right on right when I was getting ready to go. Well, I tell you what, since everybody's still on here right now, why don't I at least put this on the other side? We'll talk for a few more minutes, and I'll run the other side of the cleaning pass and we'll go from there. So, let's go back over here. Green yard, and then we'll go right here. And there we go down here. Add that to the stage. All right, so here's what we're going to do with this. You'll notice I have several different things in here. This is my cleaning pass that I use to start with. And so I've got it set at 4,000, 95 power, my frequency 60, and my Q pulse at 180. I'm using a 0.05, and then that gives you 508 lines per inch. And I'm scanning it at 45 degrees, excuse me, with a 30-degree angle increment. And so usually I'll do about 4 passes on that. So we'll start with that. So we'll frame it here. Right. Let's so, all right. Yeah, I've got 17. All right, fine. We'll start that. We'll put it back over here. Yes. And as you can see, we're back to doing some cleaning passes. So, Sharon, are you enjoying your Father's Day as well? Yep, Jack, it's 3 o'clock. So, oh, now one thing I forgot to do when I do my cleaning passes, I usually are in focus. And right now I am a whole centimeter out, so that might be something I have to go back and fix. But we'll see. We may try some extra passes just to see how that works. Because still gonna end up putting that blue color on there a second time, so we can try and get that black for the numbers. Yeah, Jack, you need to be presentable. Actually, I think I'm going to leave this like it is. I may run 2 more passes on this clean, just to just so I can run them and then turn around and put the black on there. Okay, we'll take a survey. How many people have half-started projects in their shop right now? I'll be the first one to go. I do. Matter of fact, I have a box. This box here has all these kind of glasses in here that I've got to do something with. So it's sitting behind me. And instead of jumping on those, I decided I'd just turn around and start working on the Sawblade. So Crafted's boat is he's got half projects as well. So. Now I will tell you something else that I do differently on mine. A lot of people take and put a piece of metal down behind their blade. I'm using a piece of wood because most of the time fiber will not mark any kind of organic. And as you can see right now, I'm not going to the outer edges anyway, and the ends won't do it. So when I end up getting the 2 lenses I'm going to order this afternoon, we'll go back and do it again. So several different ways that you can set it up in order to do your engraves on it and clean all the way out to the edge. Ed's on the bandwagon as well. So So you're creating coins and designing a logo for a hat patch. Is that for a hat patch for your logo, or are you designing somebody else's logo? I built power coin. Well, Jack, I said earlier, I don't know if you were in here when I said it, but before I came out here, I had to rebuild the roof on my dog's doghouse. And so when we got back from running around today, I came out and I had shingles laying everywhere. I had pieces of wood laying. My box of nails were sitting on one place. The saw and everything I used, I had stuff everywhere. So I understand that as well. So I told the wife, I said, well, because it was out in the garage. I had it sitting out there. And so went out there and got all that cleaned up and then came out here to the shop. So yeah, I've got half-baked ideas as well. So, oh, 3 dogs may be further away than we are. We're halfway. He's got a third of the way finished. He's at 33%. We're at least at halfway. So let me check that right quick. I tell you, since this is another test blade right now, I think I'm just going to go with that. I've cleaned it off, even though that we're at 2 millimeters or 2 millimeters, 2 centimeters or 1 centimeter. I'll get it right in a minute. I'm 1 centimeter off of focus right now, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over, and we'll go back over here to the shared screen. And add that to the stage again. So like I said, I've got this just set up in there to do my clean pass. It just makes it easy. I could easily do like a lot of people do and put it 4 or 5 different layers all together and then turn them on and off. But I find it easier just to take and do that. This is my blue layer that we ended up using. So we'll go in here now and we'll take and frame it one more time. And of course, since they're both the same size, I'm good to go. So we'll go ahead and hit start on that as well. And you should see, as I did a while ago, that I've got some blue color starting. We'll see how this one compares to the other. If we hang around long enough that we get both sides color-wise, we'll see what the difference was. Maggie's missing Mrs. Claus's hugs. Yeah, she gives some good ones to those 4-legged dogs and stuff. So. Yeah, Jack, of course, thinking about it to start. That's the hardest part. I think I'm going to do it. I think I told the story, and I'll tell it one more time in case you hadn't heard it. My father, at one time, he worked for Bell South, and they moved around quite a bit. So they moved from Charlotte to Gastonia. And when they moved to Gastonia, he put up on the refrigerator a to-do list. I think it was 8, 9 years later, they were moving back to Charlotte. His job had changed again, and because he'd been with Bell, I call it Bell South, Southern Bell, all the different names, AT&T. He worked through them all. But anyway, after 8, 9 years, they shifted him back to a different project or different kind of job. When they did that, he took that list off, and nothing had been marked off of it. So he had the starts of all those things he was going to do. So. Yeah, Ed, I do too. This 10 by 16 building, there's a story behind it. I originally wanted a 10 by 20, and I have an existing 10 by 20 that's out in my backyard. Well, we've got the fence up to keep the dogs inside, and I took and wanted them to bring the building through that gate to get back there to the back. Well, a 10 by 20 was going to be just a little bit too long for the area I wanted to put it in without just losing a lot of the backyard. And so I said, okay, I'll go with a 10 by 16. That gives me still plenty of yard on the right-hand side, and both the buildings will basically be butted up. And my whole concept is I was going to use both buildings. Well, when they brought the 10 by 16 out, they couldn't get it through the gate. The way the fence sits like this, the gate sits like this, the fence sits at a bit of an angle. And they couldn't make that angle without tearing the entire gate down. And I wasn't willing to do that. So we ended up moving it out here where we are now, which is on the side of my driveway. And with that, I started looking. I was like, well, dadgum, I could have got a 12 by 20 or any kind of size to put out here. But, you know, it is what it is. I think what I'm going to end up doing, because my storage building is basically full. I know this is hard to believe, but I have a lot of Christmas stuff. And one side of that building is almost full of Christmas type things, and it goes out throughout the entire house. And so I've got to take and move that stuff around and get stuff squared away. And hopefully, I'm hoping by when it cools off after this summer, when it cools off, I'm going to build at least a 10 by 10 on the side of that building back there. Move all that stuff over into that thing, and then I hope I'll have enough room that I can start using some of my woodworking stuff again, because I've got my bandsaw in there, I've got all my hand tools and that kind of thing, I've got my joiner and my lathe, so I've got all that stuff that I'd still like to get back in there and do some work on. Let me go back over here and see how that blue's coming along. So just to give you an idea, like I said, I've got this thing defocused, and no, we don't stop sharing. I'm gonna come over here. We'll go back into light burn here. For that blue, my setting is I'm at 500 speed with about 85% power, 30% frequency, 120 on my Q pulse. I'm at 0.015, because that's like 1693. So it takes a while, but that's in order to try to get that color, you need as much of that overlap as you possibly can get. And I'm doing one pass on it. So that's kind of how I'm getting that. And then, like I said, if you look over here on the materials, these are some of the, when I do a black, most time I want to be in focus. So I've got it in my material library. I defocus to 32 millimeters to get that blue color. Then down here, I've got the clean pass, so it's going to be in focus as well. And then I've done a silver, which is a 32 millimeter. So those are the colors that I've kind of messed with a little bit to find out where the settings were and that kind of thing. You found a 10 millimeter socket on your desk. You're the only person in America. Well, I won't say America. I'll say North Carolina. You're the only person who knows where their 10 millimeter socket is right now. I can put mine in the box, turn around and walk away and come back 5 minutes later and don't know where it's at. So. So let me ask this question. I think I already know the answer. I just haven't gone over there to look. But this live is probably not showing up on the Facebook side, is it? I think there's something I'm missing to do it to both right now. Yeah, crafted with the way you worked at Jeeps and stuff like that. I'm sure it was probably mandatory to have 10 millimeters around everywhere you worked. So I'll tell you the one thing that happens all the time. Okay, thanks, crafted. I'm glad it's going through on both of them. So, but how many times have you guys done this? You put your pencil right here. You work on something, you take it down, you do this, reach back up there, and a few minutes later, it's gone. And you spend the next 10 minutes walking around trying to find your pencil that you had. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was in the woodworking club, when we lived in the western part of North Carolina, there were guys there that had been doing woodworking for years. A lot more talented than I was. I was learning from those guys, glad to talk to them. And I built a hammered dulcimer. And so the guy helped me with it. And what he would do is he would take old pianos, he would tear the materials out of it, and he would use those old materials. So we were using 150-year-old material that came out of those pianos. And so I went over one day, and he was going to help with something because at that time I didn't have the tools that he had. And so he gave me a pencil about this big. And I said, is that the only pencil? He said, well, that's where all the beginners start out, is you got to have this little pencil. That way, if you lose it, I'm not out very much money. So get you some little pencils if nothing else to start out with. Three Dog says he knows where his 10 millimeters at, but he doesn't know where anything else is at. Okay, so yeah. So I had to organize my garage about a month ago, I guess it was. Because I have one of those desks, and there for a while, because everybody knows if you got a flat surface, what happens? Everything goes on top of the surface. So I got to where I couldn't even see because it's got a little light up in it, and the light was just shining down behind all these materials. So I ended up having to clean it up. Oh, I remember. Oh, look at there! I saw that too. So. Go back over here and see how we're coming on this. And as you can already see, if you look on the left-hand side up there at the top, you can see it looks like it's got sort of that brownish color again. So probably have to play with the colors a little bit more. I know I'm not going to get it perfect, but at the same time, I think I do like that color change in there. It's sort of like the multicolors you get with the 3D printers and print those out. So no, it doesn't have to always be a flat surface either. If it's got enough room to stick something, I'll put something there eventually. So. He had said earlier, I'll show it again. He said he need a 900 square foot house and a 9,000 square foot shop. What we're talking about now, how much stuff would you lose in a 9,000 square foot shop versus a smaller building? All right, well, we are about an hour and 7 minutes into this now. And I probably got another 45 minutes of this turning blue. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and wrap this up for today. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Enjoyed the conversation with everybody. Appreciate everybody having a little chat there on top of that. And so if, yeah, I understand it's not the losing, it's the gaining. But at the same time, the first, you have a couple issues that I see. The first thing is I have all this room now. Where am I going to put everything? So you take all that time and you plan out. I'm going to be organized this time. I'm going to put everything where it needs to be. You go buy shelves. You go buy all these different organizational things. You get everything in there. And if you've seen the video of where I first got into this building, everything was nice and neat and organized. And Steve from Steve Makes Everything. He even made a little fun of the fact that he thought I didn't do anything in my shop because it was too clean, and he still aggravates me about that to this day. So, but the thing is after about 2 weeks, you start putting more stuff in, bringing more stuff in, or you think you're going to do this and that. So that even if you've got 9,000 square feet and you gained all that, it won't take long before it's full. There was a wood turner that I was in the club with, and of course he would take actual logs, dry the logs, and then cut them up if he was going to use it, or he would do live edge turnings and all kinds of things like that. And he ended up he had so much wood inside his shop that he had just a little narrow path to get back to his lathe to even do anything then. So, yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly, Jack. And me being the draftsman that I am every day, yeah, you do the CAD drawing, you set everything in place, you know, where it's the same with this building. You know where every outlet's going to be, you know, it's going to be 3 or 4 outlets in there, you know which panel it's going to go to and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting here looking now, and I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 switches within 4 switches, or 4 outlets within about a total of 12 feet, and all but one of them have almost full. Matter of fact, the one that's right here with the computer, because it has the computer and the monitors and the cameras, and it's actually got my air compressor and the chiller. I've got it on an actual power supply. So all that planning I did, adding extra, because over here on my left-hand side where the machine actually sits, I have 2 crap. I have a 4-gang box. I'll get it out in a minute. And so got 4 outlets in it, and they're all slam full. So that's why I say once I get that 10 by 10 built out beside the building I've got out there, my storage building, I'm hoping that that'll create enough space that I can do some work with. But we'll see. I do know I need to go in there because it's been so long. I don't know that I'm going to do much more furniture type stuff or anything like that. I did some of that for a little while, and I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I enjoyed the time I was doing it, but there's a lot of work in it. There was a rocking chair I wanted to make at one time, but I don't know that I'll do that. But we'll see. Well, you never know. But anyway, so I appreciate everybody coming. If you would, please hit that like, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I would appreciate that as well. We'll get off here. We'll flip back over one more time so you can see that right quick. But I'm not going to sit here and just let you sit and watch this blue get a little further and a little further along on the blade itself. You kind of have an idea. But what I will do is once I get this other size done, if you want to look up on the Facebook later, I'll probably post a photo to show you what it looks like on that side, and then I'll show you both sides of what we ended up doing. I appreciate everybody coming, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your Father's Day.